system. When I say BCS to you, what comes to mind?
As the Bulldogs would say, it would be like barbecue chicken sandwiches, because that's basically the BCS. They haven't figured out a good system yet to involve all the conferences. So the BCS is very complicated right now. And I think fans are a little frustrated at times to see like the Utahs, the BYUs, even Boise State here. Fresno State's been trying to bust it. We play a tough schedule so that we can set ourselves up to get into a BCS. But I think they need to figure out a playoff system. As for now, it's okay. And I'll kind of leave it at that. I think it's average during the bowl season.
Okay, so you say they need a playoff system. 70% of the fans say they need a playoff system. Why don't we have a playoff system?
I don't know. I think the powers to be need to really figure it out. But I think right now, with all the money that's involved with bowl games, there isn't a system yet that could be in place that's fair for everyone. And then if you ask like the Floridas, the Texases, the USCs, they don't want these other mid-major conferences involved right now, because if they get one loss, USC, Texas, Florida, Alabama, whatever have you, they're no longer in it, because you got these other teams like a Boise State who doesn't play a tough schedule.
So you used the key word there, fair. The BCS was instituted to make things a little more fair. Do you think it has done that? Do you think things are fair? Do you think who's suffering right now?
No, I think that the mid-majors are suffering right now, because right now we're the punching bag of the BCS. I think that when you talk about scheduling BCS bowl games, and I know that they added a specific national championship game that's the BCS, I don't think it's fair, because there's never a clear-cut winner. There's never a clear-cut winner except for Florida last year. It all played out in the cards, but then again, Utah's been offering that argument on the stage of one of the Congress. So I think that it's not a fair system, and they got to come up with a better idea of what the BCS really means.
Do you think there's anything that fans can do to affect this discussion?
No, I really don't think so. I think they can gripe, and you can have propositions about it, just like other legitimate laws come into play, but I really don't think, because it just matters who's on top in the NCAA and the BCS, because they have to be the guys to figure it out. Because if they don't, then it's going to be a system that stays the way it is. For the NCAA, it's all about money. What's going to come into their pocket, and how are they going to get the television rights, and all these other things that factor in. So when you have like the Fresno States of the world, the Utahs, the BYUs that aren't considered a BCS conference, we're left out in the cold.
That money discussion, does that hold water in your eyes? Because don't you think that there would be infinite more eyeballs on these bowl games if they were involved in a playoff system?
I think that the money that's involved with bowl games is the reason why the NCAA is what they are in college football. The bowl games, it's all scheduled with your major television networks, ESPN and CBS and ABC and all these major television networks. That it's the teams and the student athletes that actually suffer. They're the ones that don't have a choice. It's wherever you put us, okay, we'll go play there. And so, and with the economy the way it is, you got to assume, even if it's one loss for Boise State, they're probably going to be at home at the Humanitarian Bowl, and that's not where they want to be with one loss.
Are there too many bowls?
Yes, and they need to put those bowls into a playoff format. Turn those bowl games into a playoff format. Call it whatever bowl you want, but if you win that bowl game, you move on to the next step.
What do you think about the automatic bids, where the top 6 conferences each get a bid, no matter, for instance, the ACC, Virginia Tech last year was number 19. I believe it was Boise State that was number 9, and Virginia Tech went to a bowl and got $17.5 million for the conference.
Well, that's all about scheduling and the strength of schedule and stuff like all those things, the RPI rating, all those things factor into what the BCS calls a computer estimation of who's a better team to fit into those BCS games. Obviously, there's a virus into that computer system. The BCS is not a fair playground for all of college football. It favors the big schools, it favors the big money teams, and that's all it does.
Okay.
Everybody else, they're just there to play, and then at the end of the season, it's, hey, thanks for playing.
Okay. Jim Delaney, the Big Ten commissioner, we'll get you out of here in a second. He's on record as saying that, yes, playoff system would be better for college football at large, but he doesn't work for college football at large. And it's that Rose Bowl Big Ten agreement that is really standing in the way of a lot of change getting done. Do you find it fair that an agreement between one conference and one bowl play such a big part in this?
Well, life isn't fair, but that's the same thing that plays into college football. Until they figure out a system that is fair for everyone, we will continue to have the same struggles as politicians have, as we all do as we move forward in whatever endeavor we're in. Believe me, college football is not where it should be today. Where it should be is a competitive field for every single team that's in the FBS Division I, and it's just not there.
Sounds a lot like the healthcare debate.
It's not a healthcare debate, but I would have to say this. The swine flu has hit some of the major conferences in years past, but when you're talking about an undefeated team in a mid-major conference, they can't win the national championship. So is that fair? You tell me.